Hi everybody, time for another Leafy Concern video. This time I just want to say a few words about Underworld Lit by Srikanth Reddy. And it is a book published by Wave Books just this year and just this season. There's a blurb about the author on the back. I know that a lot of people are missing browsing in bookstores, so I thought I'd give you the pleasure of sort of being able to virtually handle this book, although I won't spoil all of the contents. It's a book arranged in terms like they'd have at a quarter system school, where there's fall, winter, spring, and summer. And summer is the time when all of the sort of desires of the text are consummated, or it's where the action that the book aspires to do, kind of is done, which is an act of translation. And this book is I just really recommend it to everybody who watches this video, because I think whether or not you've got a hankering to really read deeply into something and have it speak to you about death, or you just are interested in cool historical facts and just good writing, like good simple sentences, good complex sentences, good paragraphs, good sections, dramatic endings, funny jokes, wit, you'll like the book. So you'll also learn something. You'll learn at least one thing about how underworlds across cultures and across history have been in the minds of people who thought about them. And then you'll also get a really you'll get a set of good personal stories and anecdotes from the perspective of like the teacher, family member, human being, reader, and translator. So you'll get a lot of perspective in the book, and I think that you'll also just find a lot of beauty in it. And I think you'll also be really amazed at how easy the book is to read, combined with how exciting the underworld stories and the anecdotes are. You're like, well, it's cool how so much can be done with so much consideration for the reader's time and energy. There's a really good interweaving in the book between these kinds of test-taking set pieces, which if you're a subscriber to poetry, you may have seen them. A few of these were published in poetry recently. And there's a really nice interaction between those set pieces and the longer narrative of the text, which sort of made me wonder while I was reading it if it isn't a novel, even though I think on the title page it is. Yeah, it's poetry. I think it says on the back. Doesn't it say Wave Books poetry somewhere on the book? Yeah. Its subjects, according to the title page, are teaching, dealt with by poetry, and mythology, dealt with via poetry. And yeah, that's what I told you about in terms of the terms that it is made out of. And you can't, it's hard to kind of see, but on the cover, and also in between sorry, I don't want to give anybody strobing trouble with this flipping. There's like a little bit of wrinkling to the page where it feels like every time there's a new term, it's sort of like a recovered old piece of paper. Like it's kind of the title pages for each section are the kind of pages that you find in your stuff at the end of a quarter, where you're like, wow, this was the syllabus. It was so crisp when it was just photocopied and given to me, and now it's all wrinkled and mussed up. And so now and then it has this nostalgic feel where when you look back, you're like, oh wow, I could have really learned more from this page. I could have gotten more out of this page or something. But I think I've really just described all the things I loved about this book. It's been a few weeks since I read it. I bought it from the Seminary Co-op bookstore in Chicago, along with another book, and it's one of those Wave books which I should do a video. Let me know if you'd like a video where I go through all my Wave books, because I think I have about 5 of them. And it's just a cool press that I don't really know much about, except that their editions are just like these bricks that you feel sort of guilty for having so much paper in your hand until you enjoy your book so much that you're like, oh, okay, I see why we put books in really nice sturdy packages like this, why we put texts that authors work hard on in packages like this. And you're really grateful to Wave Press, and their books are always designed really well. Anyway, please go check out this book in whatever way you can, and congrats to its author. I don't want to try to read it more closely, I think, not unless I reread it like a couple times, because just in case, you stumble across this book and you're looking for, intel into how to read it, I don't want to mislead you or whatever. Although, this channel should be okay with misleading people. I mean, I think I state somewhere in one or more of my videos that I'm okay with just sort of presenting a misreading, etc. But in any case, Underworld Lit by Srikanth Reddy from Wave Books. One of the best books I've read during this, that I read at the end of summer, and one of the best books I've read all year. So please enjoy it, and everybody stay safe. Bye.